Better form of government. Okay, we're going to be going over this better form of government. Plan A, Plan B, and our authority comes from. We're also going to be playing an audio clip from the 1992 presidential debate. This is the second debate between Perot, Clinton, and Bush. Bush will be speaking first, Clinton will be speaking second, and Perot will be speaking third. Elected offices in the United States, they should be born in the United States. There should be term limits and no retirement for elected offices. Once they served their term, they should get no retirement. Better form of government. If Plan A don't work, Plan B, a non-representative form of government. Citizens of the United States would vote on the laws. For example, if we had 50 questions, we show up at the polls. If they want to legalize abortion or they want to outlaw abortion, it would be a simple yes or no. And that would be per state. If they want to legalize abortion in California or whatever state it is, they'd say yes or no. And it has to be a state per state type of situation. Where does our authority come from? Well, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government. Now we're going to be playing this audio clip. This is the second debate, the 1992 second debate between Perot, Bush, and Clinton. And then we'll close this out. And you'll see in this audio clip that Ross Perot and George Bush are for term limits. Clinton is against it.
Up here. Please state your position on term limits, and if you are in favor of them, how will you get them enacted?
Any order? I'd be glad to respond.
Thank you.
I strongly support term limits for members of the United States Congress. I believe it would return the government closer to the people, the way that Ross Perot is talking about. The president's terms are limited to two, total of 8 years. What's wrong with limiting the terms of members of Congress to 12? Congress has gotten kind of institutionalized. For 38 years, one party has controlled the House of Representatives, and the result, sorry little post office that can't do anything right, and a bank that has more overdrafts than all the Chase Bank and Citibank put together. We've got to do something about it, and I think you get a certain arrogance, bureaucratic arrogance, if people stay there too long. And so I strongly favor term limits. And how to get them passed? Send us some people that'll pass the idea. And I think you will. I think the American people want it now. Every place I go, I talk about it, and I think they want it done. Actually, you'd have to have some amendments to the Constitution because of the way the Constitution reads.
Thank you. Governor Clinton.
I know they're popular, but I'm against them. I'll tell you why. I believe, number one, it would pose a real problem for a lot of smaller states in the Congress who would have enough trouble now making sure their interests are heard. Number two, I think it would increase the influence of unelected staff members in the Congress who have too much influence already. I want to cut the size of the congressional staffs, but I think you're going to have too much influence there with people who were never elected, who have lots of expertise. Number three, if the people really have a mind to change, they can. You're going to have 120 to 150 new members of Congress. Now let me tell you what I favor instead. I favor strict controls on how much you can spend running for Congress, strict limits on political action committees, requirements that people running for Congress appear in open public debates like we're doing now. If you did that, you could take away the incumbent's advantage, because challengers like me would have a chance to run against incumbents like him for House races and Senate races, and then the voters could make up their own mind without being subject to an unfair fight. So that's how I feel about it, and I think if we had the right kind of campaign reform, we'd get the changes you want.
Mr. Perot, would you like to address term limitations?
Yes. Let me do it first on a personal level.
if the American people send me up to do this job, I intend to be there one term. I do not intend to spend 1 minute of one day thinking about re-election. And as a matter of principle, and my situation is unique and I understand it, I would take absolutely no compensation. I go as their servant. Now, I have set as strong an example as I can. Then at that point, when we sit down over at Capitol Hill, tomorrow night I'm going to be talking about government reform. It's a long subject. You wouldn't let me finish tonight. If you want to hear it, you get it tomorrow night. But the point is, sorry, just a little silly. And if you're here tomorrow night. But we have got to reform government. If you put term limits in and don't reform government, you won't get the benefits you thought. It takes both. So we need to do the reforms and the term limits, and after we reform it, it won't be a lifetime career opportunity. Good people will go serve and then go back to their homes and not become foreign lobbyists and cash in at $30,000 a month and then take time off to run some president's campaign. They're all nice people, they're just in a bad system. I don't think they're any villains, but boy, is the system rotten.
Thank you very much.